versus external customers. You could be hired in a bank where in an IT department where all your customers are internal to the bank. Or you could be hired by a managed services whose all the customers are external. They go to places and manage the infrastructure for them. In your case, all your customers are external. Unless you hire them. Internal and external services and service providers. We talked about the difference between the two. Goes along with the customer. Stakeholders are those who have anything to do with the service, affected by the service. Customers, designers, suppliers, users, and we talked about the difference between users and customers. Then we talked about that ITIL is a ship floating on a sea of processes, 26 of them. And we're going to learn them throughout this course. Okay, then we talked about functions, which is really 4 functions in ITIL: service desk, front-facing, IT operations, technical management, and application management. And the roles, are like process owner, process practitioner, process manager, service owner, service owner. I just want to explain an important thing here. Just terminology. There's a difference between designation and roles. When you work in a place, you have a job title: network administrator, security architect, whatever your job is, application developer, any of those, tons of them. That's your designation. But as a network administrator, your company could give you a role.
Let's begin, shall we?
This is Apple TV Plus, the streaming service with...
You are the change manager, for example, for any change that happens in networking, you are the one who's accountable for that. This is not in the title, this is something that they give you. They tell you that you're... So for example, in my workplace, we have a change manager. Any change happens in IT infrastructure, this person will bring the parties together, make sure that it's being adequately discussed, all the risks are analyzed, responses if something goes wrong, all that is done. This is the person who actually brings us together, scheduled meetings. But his title is not change manager. His title is service delivery lead. Okay, so this is the difference between role and designation. RACI metrics, it's actually a simple thing that ensures that when you work in a team, you carry out a process, everyone knows what their role, what their responsibilities is. We talked about service automation, and then lastly, ITIL service life cycle. Okay, what I'd like you to do is maybe we'll do a quick review of what we've covered, the second part that we covered last class and today. So we're going to go to, and again, this is anonymous, so I highly recommend that you participate in this. Helps with remembering and those concepts. Okay. So go to joinmyquiz.com and plug in this code, and it will generate a random name for you. So we don't know who is who. That's one. One word. Joinmyquiz.com. By the way, this is a very good way of preparing for the quizzes. Each quiz is 2%. So while you're in the class, you can prepare as well. Very similar question to what you see in the quiz. Okay. Sorry. We talked about the processes, remember? Okay, so this is the slide. You remember, so we have figures, we have inputs, we have policies. Where is policy? Yeah, process, policy. We have to maintain, but we definitely do not have tools. Tools are part of the resources embedded, but they're not components of the resource. Okay? Which unit really interacts with the customer? Number is service. Everyone else, the other functions are sort of the background. They're doing the work, but they're not necessarily interacting with the customer. IT operations, they are the second tier after the service desk. Service desk, you know, there's a problem that's beyond their capabilities and expertise. IT operations is the unit that supports, for example, network administration. The IT operation, as the name suggests, for your reference, I'm just going to pull up the slide that talks about these functions. Oh, you have to figure it out. Good. Well, they didn't need to. So this is the slide. There is that technical IT operation, day-to-day management of the infrastructure. I'm sure many of you will eventually move to the unit manager. So it's the process owner. The process owner makes sure that this could be confusing a little bit. That's fine, but I can put this in the slide here. I think it's going to be one either the process owner or the process manager. Process manager is the one who runs it every day, make sure that the activities are being implemented. But the process owner is the one who ensures that the process does what it's supposed to do. For example, one of the processes is the incident management, which is a break fix. For IT, we do a lot of break fix. So if it takes unreasonable amount of time for us to recover from a problem, Who is to take responsibility? The process owner. They need to go and see, okay, what's not working? Why it takes forever for us to fix problems? That's fine. This is a tricky question. If you're listening, you probably know what it is. Process manager. This is more day to day. Okay? Today, that's the one that defines roles and responsibilities. Who is doing what? So which one in the RACI that you could only have one for each activity? Right here, it's accountable. For every activity, you can only have one person accountable. So responsible, no. You could have.
Let's begin, shall we?
This is Apple TV Plus, the streaming service with something for everyone. Let's go! New releases every week. The best movies, shows.
Me, only the one that's the one who really ultimately has to sign off on that activity. Okay, so it's service design, because the question is how and it's not why. Service strategy answers the question why. Why do we need to build the mall? Why do we need to start this business? Why do we need to start a new service? Will there be demand? The why question is service strategy. But the how we're going to build it, components, equipment, software, that's a design question. Only one is true here. in very likelihood that you may work in a place, depending on the maturity of that place, where you find that there is confusion about the activities. If you mention racing, you're actually going to sound very cool. Okay? If you say, oh, we need racing metrics, it may sound that, okay, well, you know what you're doing. You know management. So keep that in mind. Okay? It's widely used in the industry. Okay. The podium. Okay. Thank you. Now we're going to switch to a new topic, the service strategy. This is our next topic. And let's say, I've already talked about service strategy. Let's dive a little deeper into this. So service strategy, the first of the 5 life cycle phases. So what I'm going to talk about today, service strategy, what it is, how it's important, why it's important, then the component 4 P's of service strategy, objectives, service strategy value to the business, why any value what the business would need to have it. Then we talked about value. Let's talk about what does it mean to have a value in a service. Service delivering value. If there's no value, customers will not pay for it. Okay? And the components of value, service assets, resources, and capabilities, patterns of business activity, risk management, service strategy processes. Don't be worried too much about some terminology here. It will make sense as we talk about it. So service strategy, as I said, is the first, the one in the core here. First thing, if you're thinking of a business, IT business, or starting a new business service, then that's where you start thinking about strategy. Why do we need it? ITIL service strategy provides guidance in 2 things. One is there a requirement from the customer? If there's no requirement, then why bother? And that's why ITIL, we said it focuses on value, because in many places, IT, especially with tight budgets, some senior leaders, some leaders of some companies, they start downsizing IT because they feel, okay, this is just money sink. Okay, so as IT, we need to really focus and keep up with the industry and keep up with the customer demand. What do they need? And make sure so that we're always important for the business. We're always adding value and enabling the business activity. Okay? Defining strategies for managing. So once you have services and they are valuable to the customer, how can we manage them? How can we make sure that they're maintained, very well maintained, upgraded, kept up to date? All that. So think about these 2, right? Right in the strategy, we think about why the service is important and how we're going to maintain it. Value creation begins here with an understanding of...
All right, the time's come. Don't let me down.
So, it depends on your customer. If you're in the healthcare, then you want to think about maybe medical records service. Maybe security of privacy. Higher education, training, and classroom technology is extremely important. The concept remains to be the same. 4 P's of service strategy. So let's break it down into components. The perspective. Like in our IT department, our value comes from, as we are local, we know our customers, and we provide customers close to the client, to the customer. The position, in what way the service will stand out. Why are we special? When I was hired in my workplace, one of the first things that my boss asked me to do, he said, "Did you write some value statement? Why do we need 60 people working in the IT department? Why should, I don't know if you've heard, but there was one university hired a new CIO, and that CIO pretty much laid off 80% of the IT department. He was so much into outsourcing. Whether that's right or wrong, I didn't know. But that's one thing, right? So we need to, in position, who said, well, we exist for a reason. Plans. Okay, so we have the perspective. We have the, with our competitor, oh, before I forget, this is an example, Jetstar Airways in Australia. They excel not in luxury, they don't excel in extra services or anything. They give lean services, they are low cost and safety. That's their value proposition. Plans, actions that need to be taken for the IT provider to reach its goal stating. Okay, so otherwise it's talk. Perspective and position is just talk. You have to put that in plans. And lastly, patterns. When is the busy time for your customers? When they really need your service? When there is high demand? Quickly here, objectives of service strategy. Define the strategy for the service provider, organization, and provide the risk for company to meet work. To identify which services are going to be developed as part of the service offering. So for example, when I joined my company, my team, or the team then, were responsible for repairing the computer. Over time, we found that that was the best time, that's the best use of our company, of our time. So what we did is we started using services like yours, where we say, okay, we need someone to repair, because we have other things to do. Because it's just so much, I cannot expect the technician to troubleshoot and attend to phone calls and troubleshoot software at the same time, spend 3 or 4 hours replacing the screen on a laptop. It's just so much. So what it is, okay, leave the hardware repair. Let's do that, let's leave that to other contractors to do, and we pay for it. It just works out better for us. So you have to be smart about, okay, what services you want to provide versus what services you cannot do everything. Identify the customer base. Obviously, you need to know your customer. The roadmap for identifying exploiting market opportunities. Things come up. There's a company that's very well known for adapting to market. Do you know 3M? 3M? Yeah, they're very good really at that, as opposed to some companies who went bankrupt. They're just very good at innovation and jumping opportunities. Amazon, for example, started off as selling books, and then all of a sudden, fast forward, now pretty much it's a marketplace online, and they even provide hosting and cloud services. So they keep developing. Okay, they have a roadmap. Plan to obtain funds for developing services. How are you going to get funding? If you work within a company and you want to propose a new service, you have to justify that. Plan on how services will be delivered to the customer. So AWS, for example, Amazon Web Services, they're self-service. You don't need to talk to anyone in order to host your servers or order a cloud service. You could do that pretty much on your own, online. And that goes as part of this strategy. Okay, I'm just going to skip this one for now. I'm just going to talk about service value. Value is defined by customers. It's not us, the service provider, say, okay, this must be important. It's how we perceive. If the customer perceives it, something is valuable, your service is valuable, they're willing to pay for it. And value is not only measured in financial terms. Do you agree or disagree with this? Agree? It's not only financial, right? So what else? Time-saving, convenience, right? I mean, it may not, using the service may not necessarily, as a customer, may not save you money all the time, may not, but it's convenient, for example, right? So it's not, and that's actually very, in my workplace, sometimes we have difficulty quantifying. If you want the university to invest in a new service, we have to come up with, yes, it's good if it saves money, but also we need to come up with other things. How are we going to help you with retaining students or reflecting on the outcome of students? Students will have better quality education. That's not money. There's no dollar there, right? Value changes over time and circumstance. What's valuable today may not be valuable tomorrow. By the way, I want to give you an example here about value is not always measured in financial terms. When we lease our computers, we have 600 lab computers, we lease them, we don't buy them anymore, because to buy them, it's going to cost us $1.5 million, it's just too much money. So we said, okay, if we lease them over 4 years, then the expenditure will be more manageable. So it costs us $250,000 a year. It's more manageable, it's less bang on the budget. But the leasing company owned the computers, not us. Okay, so they own them. So after the leasing period of 4 years usually, we're supposed to send them back to them, unless we decide to buy them out. Okay? This leasing company, to win business with us, they said, okay, we're going to give you some extra service. They don't make money from that, but it's something that makes them attractive to us. And that is that they said, if you have old computers, you don't have to think about it, just let us know. We will send you an estimate how much money you'll get for those, and we'll come and pack them and send them away. So this is not really their core business. They're not making money from that, but they actually makes them like them more, because that means actually if I deal with this leasing company, then I don't have to deal with the headache of sending hundreds of computers away.
What
They
am
will
I
take care of
doing
it.
in a non-business?
So that's where I'm saying value is not always measured in financial terms. Don't be worried too much about this graph, but I just want you, I'll give you an example. Let's say we wanted this class, and all the classes in Durham College, to be streamed online, live. Okay? When we try to do this, initially we run a service that's highly labor intensive. So we have people with cameras, maybe students. They're hired part-time. Cameras and laptop, and they're scheduled to go to this classroom. They stand in the back, and they will record. Sorry, it's not live streaming. It's recorded. So they will record the lecture and then post it online. So students who are not here can stream it. Now the problem with that's okay. We have a service, and it gives us some value. It was do it yourself kind of basic. The problem is we do not scale it because to manage so we're all taking small number of classes. Then someone came up with the idea to say, how about if we install cameras in the classroom? Cameras in the back, wired, and someone in the control room can record 50 classes at the same time, only one individual. No tool going around running for classes, whatever, none of that. So there's a lot of benefits, like scheduling, you can actually schedule them, the video will go online pretty much quickly because the person who videographer will have to go back to the office, upload the video, do some encoding, upload it each time. But this with the built-in camera, it goes straight to the servers, it's not really much, but we have it, we installed it. So anyway, so let us actually do more. We generate way more service. In addition to this, we actually shoot it up. Okay? Now, it's not all good news because sometimes cameras will get disconnected. There's some equipment that's run may crash or something. So we're going to lose some value here. Really, the net difference is between this one, and this. Okay, and that's the economic value. That's with the manual way plus the net difference, the value that the automated way generated together will give us the net value. This actually was not. If you have a question, I can answer this. But don't think too much about it. All right. Now, when you look at any service, I would like you to think about it in 2 dimensions: utility of the service and warranty of the service. This is the terminology used in ITIL. Service utility and service warranty. The service utility refers to that the service has the functionality that the customer could utilize. It's actually built to meet the purpose. So for example, Wi-Fi provides connectivity. A car is built for transportation, or a bus. Okay, so we could have both. So this is the fit for purpose. So for example, if you have an architecture office, and you give them laser printers that are leather sized, is that printing service fit for purpose? Architecture office, okay, and you as a service provider, you install laser printers that can print leather sized.
Yeah, it's like more real than
Is that is your service fit for their purpose? Why not? Why, right? So right off the bat, the service doesn't work. Okay, it's not designed. Okay, so that's where the utility.
oh,
Now
what?
the fit for use is warranty. That means
What is
is
this?
the service good enough? Does it break?
So,
Is it usable? Is it reliable? So you need to have these two together. You have to have the service meeting the requirement, and the service has to be reliable enough. Okay? As you can see in the table here, fit for purpose, which is utility, and fit for use, both of them need to be true in order for them to generate a value. For example, buses, are they fit for purpose when it comes to transportation?
let me steal this data.
Yeah. Okay. So that's check out. If you want to use you have a bus service and you tell people that I can transport you to Cuba, does it make it fit for use? I mean, Cuba is an island. Okay, so you can see here, right? The bus actually is good for it's fit for purpose transportation. But for that one particular, I can't use it. It's not usable for Cuba. I can take it to other places, but not Cuba. So that's I just want you to think. Or if you have a bus service that your buses break all the time, like they're always behind schedule, they don't make the schedule, all that. It's fit for purpose because it's transportation, but the warranty is not good. They're not reliable. The service is not reliable. It will make more sense as we go. And you need to have these two as true in order to generate a value. Okay, I'm going to skip this for now because it could be So, utility of the service, let's talk a little bit more about it, is the functionality offered by a product or service to meet a particular need. A service must improve the performance of the business or remove a barrier. So, for example, if we use Teams, for chatting and exchanging files and collaborating on group assignments, that's actually improving our performance as a class. Okay, so that makes that there is a utility for that service, Teams service, or removes a barrier. So, for example, Wi-Fi. In the old days, in order to connect a computer, you have to have a wire and you have to have a port. But Wi-Fi now everywhere. So to remove the barriers, it's not a problem. It can show up anywhere in the corridors and whatever study spaces, and I can get internet service. So Wi-Fi here, it actually removes a barrier or constraint removed. Now the warranty is the quality. The warranty always is about quality. Okay? So the warranty provides assurance that the product or service will meet its agreed upon requirements. So the warranty has 4 components. Is the service available enough? So if you have a phone call, like a phone service, self-service, but when you go to vacation, let's say you go to college or something, there is no coverage there. The service is not available. That means that service does not have the warranty. It's not usable at that location. There's a problem there. Is there sufficient capacity? If you're stuck in a traffic jam and you want to call your friends to tell them that you're late for dinner, and then you found that, okay, there's only one single antenna in that area, and because there are too many Customers in that area, your call is not going through. There is no capacity in them. Or similar, if the disk is full in a server, there's not enough capacity. Is it continuous? You know, if you're in the middle of an interview over the phone, and then your call keeps dropping from time to time, that's not continuous service. And finally, security. Okay, so security meaning, is there confidentiality, whatever that service is? Is there, chance of keep dropping from them? So when you look at warranty, think of in terms of availability, capacity, continuity, and security. All of these need to be true. All of these need to be true in order for the service to have a warranty, and that service we can consider it to add value. All right, let's have some small exercise here.